the amazing day we have been waiting for, our live consultation section that is actually for everyone. So this is not a paid consultation section. For those that have paid for our consultation sections, they know how packed our sections usually are. But today we decided to come live, and we have been doing it every month and giving channels a lot of visibility, or giving individuals a lot of visibility just by some of the things that we get to say on these live sections. Some of them are premiered, some of them are actually live like this, right? And for those who are joining our channel for the first time, we have a lot of traffic coming in hundreds. Yes, it's still in the hundreds. Want to say welcome to Top Media, and Team Top Media is here to stay. We have been here for unofficially for about 5 years, and officially we have been here for about 4 years, and we're actually doing amazing things in terms of helping individuals in different sectors to be able to get lots of results. When I mean lots of results, I mean lots of results, guys. So today we are going to be talking about something that is interesting, and that has to do with building a YouTube channel or winning on YouTube without any hacks, without any secrets, right? A lot of persons go around looking for secrets, they go around looking for hacks, they go around looking for a lot of shortcuts that can help them get to that particular point all of us are looking out for, which is virality, which is people getting to know your content, people getting to subscribe to your channel, people getting to um, patronize you through what you do on social media. But the truth about it is, we have found out a lot of things that we're going to be sharing with you today, and I want you to pay close attention as we move in this speed, right? Guys, it's going to be a short but very impactful one, and I don't want you to miss out on anyone. Now, on how to win on YouTube, I actually took down some notes just so that I will not forget any one of them, because preparing for this section, we actually had to study close to 300 YouTube channels, and these are channels within 200 subscribers to 1 million subscribers. And we found out that we actually noticed that this thing I might be selling you now, the thing I'm about to say to you now, sounds very uncomfortable. It sounds very unconventional, but it's actually true to find out. And it's that the channels within 200 to 1 million subscribers are actually doing well, hitting the targets, getting viral, hitting monetization in about 3, 4, 5 weeks. Not just 3, 4, 5 weeks. Channels that are actually hitting the goal in terms of revenue are not channels that are doing or looking for hacks, looking for secrets. The ones that actually win are not just using these hacks. They're actually those that are not using secret tags, they are not using magic posting timelines, they are not even using algorithm cheat codes, right? Now, the channels that are doing well, and this is what you should know. The part most people won't tell you is that the reason that you are not growing currently, or some YouTube channels are not growing on YouTube right now, is because people don't know them enough. It's not because they are not using cheat codes, it's because people don't know them enough, right? I took down some of these notes while studying this, and I wanted to understand that over the years, over about 2, 3, 4, 5 years of helping YouTube channels on social media to gain 100 subscribers in about 3 days, to gain 1,000 subscribers in about 1 week, or 14 days. One thing I got to understand is many of them get to act as they get the signal. They act as they get the signal. They don't wait to plan something that is so gigantic. For instance, for AI channels currently that are springing up that has to do with storytelling, AI episodes, they have to plan that. I have someone currently that is currently planning an episode that is taking about 20 episodes, and he has to sit down to script about 1 week, to script about 1 week to actually generate those particular scenes and convert them to videos. Not that there are not people that are doing this fast, But I want you to know that the channels that are doing amazingly well are the ones that are not using these secret tags, they're not using magic posting timelines, they're not using algorithm cheat codes. The part that most people will not tell you is that the reason you're not growing on YouTube currently is not because you don't know enough. It's because you are responding wrongly to what you're feeling. Now, let me explain. In this video, I'm actually going to be showing you something that is very simple and you can implement, but it's very dangerous if you ignore it. If you feel uninspired, you're probably isolating yourself instead of fixing it. That's just the truth, right? As I'm on YouTube here, I'm currently on Facebook here, I'm also on Instagram here, also actually going live. And to as many of you that are hearing me right now, I want you to understand that if you are currently burnt out, if you are currently feeling like there are no ideas, you might be forcing consistency the wrong way. Yes, you might be forcing consistency the wrong way. Now, let me explain. And if the fact is, let me also address these people on this live stream also that are feeling impatient. If you're feeling impatient, especially in your journey on YouTube, you're judging your journey from the wrong timeline. Wrong timeline. I'm going to explain all these things, right? And in fact, let me explain it now. Most people come to YouTube thinking that they need the best of gears. It will shock you the gear that I'm using currently, right? We are not in the studio. I had to actually stream from my house to be able to meet up with this live stream, right? We are not in the top media studios, but I had to stream from my house. If it's some people to go live, and I have good number of persons here, right? Both on Instagram, both on Facebook, that can consider people that can full an auditorium, right? For this video. Hello, good day, Ibrahim. You're welcome to the live section. So today we are talking about winning on YouTube without any hack. So if you're someone that's a YouTuber, welcome to the live stream. You're going to learn a lot from this live stream, and I believe you're going to hit a lot of milestones in terms of revenue, in terms of watch hours, in terms of subscribers, even after this live stream. Of course, after you implement some of the things we're going to talk about on this live stream, right? Now, some people come to YouTube thinking that they need better gears. It will shock you the gear I'm using currently, right? They need better editing. They need the best of edit, the best of scripting. Some people come to YouTube with that mentality. Why? Because of the contents that they're already watching, right? Some people come to YouTube thinking that they need better strategy. But nobody talks about the part that your emotions are quietly controlling your growth sometimes. Nobody talks about that moment where you sit down to create content and suddenly you start thinking, is this content good enough? What if nobody watches it? What if I embarrass myself? Nobody talks about this part. So instead of creating content, most of us, we just start adjusting things. We start tweaking things. We start delaying things. And I'm not saying this because I feel like talking to people. I'm saying this because this is something that we experience in our process as YouTubers. This is something that we have studied and seen as a pattern among about 300 plus YouTube channel owners and creators. Now, so not just that you're tweaking, you're delaying, it comes to the point that before you actually create this content, you say, okay, let me wait for the afternoon, and then it becomes tomorrow, and then another day goes by, and you still haven't created anything, you have not posted anything, or worse, you post consistently for a while, and then after some time, you suddenly say you are tired. Social media has never been tired of churning out content. So the question is, are you really tired? Or you're feeling physically drained? Or rather, mentally drained? And the truth is, instead of trying to understand this, we just sit it out. We try to even push harder. We try to push it, and then we crash. You get into that point of mental blockage. You get into that point whereby there are no ideas. You're not feeling inspired to create anything, right? You look at, so another thing again that actually discourages people from actually creating content or winning on YouTube is that they start looking at the numbers. Yes, the reason why we actually decided to do promotions on top media years back and I came into the team and I started working with the amazing minds on top media currently. The reason why we decided to do that is because we found out that a lot of persons are being discouraged by their numbers, right? So how can we help them hit these their numbers in a way that will help their channel grow? And this is why top media came in. Now, the good thing or the thing that we have found out is that when people sit out or stop creating content, one of the factors is that these people start looking at their numbers, 20 views, they start looking at their likes, 15 likes, they start looking at their content, no comments, right? I can say I don't have comments on my IG here, but right here on YouTube, I have about 2 comments, right? I can say I don't have any comment, I don't have much comments on this my YouTube, but right here on Facebook, I have a lot of more other persons that are going to see this content even after now, right? But the truth is, when you start questioning yourself about everything and anything, you start asking yourself questions like, is it even working? Then that is where most people quit. That is where you start doubting your process. That is where you start doubting your steps currently, right? Now, that is where most people quit. I want you to understand this. Not just because YouTube is hard or YouTube seems hard to them, but because they don't understand what to do with how they feel at that point in time. And that's why we are doing this live section. I want you to listen carefully even as we run through this section. I remember a time when I wanted to post a video so badly. I wanted to post that video. I had the idea, right? I even wrote the scripts halfway, but one thing is I kept thinking, this doesn't sound right. Maybe I should rewrite the script. Maybe I should look for a better angle to actually structure this in such a way that it will speak to my audience, because my audience has to understand it. If my audience does not get it, then there's nothing I'm doing as a creator. If your audience does not get it, then it becomes a problem. Now, that became a point whereby I had to sit out and start asking myself, maybe I will create this today, I'll create this tomorrow. I'm saying my experience, I'm making you understand what I actually experienced. The surprising thing is that that procrastination actually led to 3 days of sitting out trying to fix the scripts to fit my audience or fit the people that I wanted to get the information. And in those 3 days, I didn't improve the idea. That's the funny thing, because I kept running around a particular circumference, and I know a lot of persons here have experienced that. I didn't improve the idea. I just avoided posting, right? Now, this is when I realized something. Overthinking is not perfection, it is fear. Overthinking is not perfection, it is fear, guys. And if let me say it's the exact way I wrote it, right? Overthinking is not perfection, it's fear dressed like productivity. Nothing was wrong with my idea. I was just responding wrongly to what I was feeling. Yes. And then I started paying attention. I started noticing a pattern. Every time something felt off, there was actually a right response I was ignoring, right? Now, the first thing that I noticed during this studying and during my own process as a creator, I'm pulling from that to make you understand some things and to help you see how to win on YouTube actually. Overthinking and creating is actually one of those factors. So let's start with overthinking. If you're overthinking your videos currently, you probably think the solution is to sit down and figure it out. The truth about it is not. Because the more time you sit there trying to figure it out, the more problems you will find in that your script, in that particular video you want to do. You will start noticing things that are not even the real issues on your video. The hook is not strong enough. The word is not perfect. The idea needs tweaking. That is what is going to be coming to your head, honestly. Meanwhile, nothing is going out. Like your content are not going out. So what actually helps? Just record it. As bad as it is, just record it. You're not doing it because it's ready, but because you need feedback from reality, not from your head. You need feedback as a creator. You can't work without feedback. It's what people are saying, how people feel about your videos. That's how you'll be able to recreate and do better things, right? Most times the video you're doubting is actually good enough to move you forward past that particular step you're actually experiencing. The second thing we actually notice is that creators are actually uninspired and they watch other creators too much than they work on themselves. Now, let me explain. That phase is actually where nothing is coming to your head. You sit down blank. This is how it works. You sit down blank, you try to force the idea, nothing clicks. But that's usually not a creativity problem, it's an input problem. You have not seen anything new, you have not been in your own head for too long. So instead of forcing ideas, you go and watch other people. Now, there is a part where you do this too much, and there's a part where it is regulated. I'm going to talk about the part where it is regulated before I look at the part whereby it's done too much. Now, where it's regulated is that you not randomly but intentionally start watching someone that starts their video, starts putting out content, and you watch how they explain something in a simple way that holds your attention. And mind you, you're not copying, you're just reminding your brain of what is possible. I do that a lot. I do that a lot, especially when I want to create content for, or when our creators want to create content. We advise them to go and watch videos of some people that are doing amazingly well within their niche. Now, this gives them a kind of confidence. It gives them that reminder that this thing is actually possible. Now, another factor or another thing that can cause you or help you to win on YouTube is when you pay attention to burned out, the idea of being burned out and taking a day off or taking some time off on YouTube. Now, I want you to understand that the truth is there's something called burnout. There is something that called burnout. And this one is tricky because it doesn't show up loudly at first. It starts with you're feeling off, you're editing, but it's taking longer than usual. You find out that you're writing a particular script and it feels like this thing is just heavy, it's feeling heavy. And instead of stepping back, you push harder because you think consistency means taking no breaks. But this is where it backfires, and I want you to understand this. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is not to touch your content or touch your phone for a day. When I mean touch your phone, you should understand what I mean. Creating contents like this. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is to not just touch content creation for a day. Why? This is because you just need to reset. Because if you keep doing something in that state, or if you keep going, back to back in that state, you will not just slow down, but you will completely stop. I've experienced this before. When you're churning out content almost every time, honestly, I wonder how people like Shanks, yes, there are times when they get to sit out and they get to just sit it out and they just decide not to create content, right, in a day, but they come back again in the night, right? Some of the streamers that we see currently actually stream a lot of things on YouTube, like Pella and the rest. Sometimes when they go off, now they go off to reset, they go off to be able to gain more strength outside the YouTube platform or outside the social media platform. Now, I want you to understand this. There is the factor that has to do with on motivation and remembering your why. And you have to allow this play out in your journey, especially if you want to win on YouTube. There are days where you just don't feel like doing anything and there's no energy, there's no drive. And this usually happens when results are not matching your efforts, like I actually highlighted at the beginning of this video. You've posted, but nothing is really happening. This is when you need to go back a bit, not to strategize, but to know the reason why you started creating content in the first place. This is because if your motivation is growth, then you will surely burn out. But if there's something deeper than just growth, something that made you start in the first place, that is what carries the phase that you're in, that phase whereby you're feeling unmotivated. That is what carries you through that process, right? Now, there's also the factor that has to do with being impatient and zooming out. And the impatience is one thing that is very common among creators. Impatience is one thing that is very common among creators. You post few videos and expect to see something that is magical, but when it's not happening, it feels like you're stuck. It feels like you're not doing the right thing. And most times you're not stuck, you're just early. Listen, you're just early. I had to write this part down just so that we will understand indeed. And when I mean you're just early, it means you haven't done enough reps, you haven't done enough rounds to even judge your process. you're too quick to judge your process. That's what I would say. So the topic is actually how to win on YouTube without hacks, without tricks, without secrets. Winning on YouTube like every other live streamer, like every other content creator that creates content that are not superb, but actually gives value and helps you retain your audience. Someone said something. What's the topic, bro? So I just set the topic again, and it's going to be posted on the video, right? So, like I was saying, like I want you to imagine this. Imagine going to the gym for 1 week. Imagine going to the gym for 1 week, and then you check your mirror in the next 1 hour. That's after a week. You check your mirror every hour you go to the gym. And you're checking the mirror for something that looks like a big muscle. You're checking the mirror for something that looks like a broad chest, right? And this is what people don't understand. What you're looking out for on YouTube, instead of zooming out and saying, let me actually give this enough time to work out, is the growth that you're not patient enough to get. So, no, you don't need to actually keep looking at your screen, keep looking at every content every 24 hours to know if there is a skip or there's a jump. You need to do multiple rounds. Let me actually, this is what you should do. You should tell yourself, let me give this enough time to work. You don't need hacks to win on YouTube as you need consistency to win on YouTube. You don't need secrets on YouTube as you need multiple rounds of practice to actually hack or to get the system that works for you. You need to understand this, that every phase in your YouTube journey, we have grown channels to 100,000 subscribers before. We have grown channels to 10,000 subscribers before. We have seen videos move from 0 views to 15,000 views in less than 1 week. We have seen videos also do 0 to 5,000 views in 1 week. This is not because one was better, right? One was superb. One creator actually hits luck. Yes, there is a point in time whereby the algorithm starts recommending your content. But I want you to understand that most times, you as a creator, you don't need hacks to win on YouTube. What you need to understand is that this phase of your life needs more reps, needs more consistency than you have put in on other social media platforms, especially on the YouTube platform. It can be very tricky because the YouTube platform is trying to understand your content and recommend it to other people that are interested for your content or interested in your kind of content. So the more you practice, the more you'll be able to know the system that works for you, the kind of content that appeals to your audience, and the one that resonates with people, helps you get more subscribers. Because not all content that you post on YouTube is going to help you get subscribers. There are some that will get you more views. There are some that will get you lots of subscribers. There are some that will get you leads on another social media platform. The creator Dan Martell currently gets a lot of Instagram subscribers or Instagram followers just because he posts a lot of YouTube content that leads them to his Instagram handle. Now, you need to understand this. Every phase, like I said before, every phase you're in on your YouTube growth has a response. If you're overthinking your content, the solution is to create that content, even if it is not perfect. If you're uninspired, the solution is to watch more videos within your industry that inspires you. If you're feeling burnout in terms of being a creator, the solution is not to push harder, it is to rest. Take a day off, take 3 hours off, take 6 hours of uninterrupted rest. As a creator, you use more mind power than physical power. As I am speaking with you, I am using more brain power, I am using more mind power than physical power. And mind power is actually more draining than physical power. I must tell you the truth. The physical power makes your bones weak, gives you aches in your body. But your mind power actually gives you that kind of mental drainage. And you know that anything that happens in the brain actually trickles down on the entire body. If you're not motivated here, you cannot act here. I don't know if you understand. You cannot get up. You cannot feel motivated to create your content. So if you're feeling unmotivated, the solution is to remember What I mean by remember, for those that did not join us when we started this video on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, what that means is you need to remember your why. Why are you creating content in the first place? For people that just join YouTube just to make money, their why is not strong. For people that even join YouTube just for growth, their why is not strong. Your why is not strong enough. So when I mean your why is strong enough, is look beyond just creating content just for the sake of creating content, just for gaining followers. Look at your YouTube channel or look at your content as content that can actually inspire people. Either it's if it is entertainment, if it is music, if it is movie, it can impact people more than what you are actually looking at in terms of just gaining views, just gaining a lot of subscribers. It can impact a lot of persons. I have walked into spaces just because of the content that I've created on social media, and I was preferred over the other persons in the place, right? I was given preferential treatment just because people have watched my content and they have seen me on social media. So if you're impatient, all I want you to do, or the solution, is for you to zoom out. If you're impatient, just zoom out. Stop looking at the numbers, right? Or rather, subscribe to promotional services on top media just so that your mind can be out of that numbers hurdle, because the numbers hurdle can be crazy. So subscribe to promotional packages on top media that gives you that helps you reach a lot of persons, without you trying so much. So we share your contents to a lot of persons, helping you get a lot of views, helping you get a lot of subscribers, helping you get to your goal in terms of watch hours, and even your goal in terms of getting a lot of persons to watch your content, stay long on your content, and help you generate more views. We do that on top media, right? So if you're feeling impatient, you can subscribe to these our promotional services and get lots of results in a short time, and zoom out of that mind space where you're thinking of the views, you're thinking of the subscribers. Let us do that part for you by promoting your content so that you can focus on creating the content. You can focus on working on yourself to be a better content creator. And this is how you stay in the game of winning on YouTube. You stay in that mind space. Today's section is not so much on practical things you can do. It's more on mental things you can do, things that you can do to yourself, because the creator you are is more important than the contents that you're actually posting. The mindset, the mind frame of a creator, that's what we wanted to actually work on this month. Without hacks, you yourself, you're enough. And if you don't understand this, it becomes a problem. The systems are there. Yes, the systems are there. But you being able to create content, you being able to look at your niche, you being able to know what is happening around you outside of just creating content is very important. You stay in the game, and on YouTube, the people will stay. The people will stay when you get all these things right. And eventually, you yourself will win. Now, if this has shifted your mindset or made you see how your YouTube journey can actually be better, I want you to not just watch this video, but to subscribe, right? And this is because on this channel, we are going to be putting out a lot of content that is going to help you gain a lot of subscribers, gain a lot of views, gain a lot of attention as a creator. We don't just teach you how you can grow. We teach you how you can last long on YouTube, right? Enough to actually see when you will win. I have seen creators that were on YouTube for about 4 years, but when they started working with us, in about 6 months, they were able to hit their target in terms of growth on YouTube, and they actually had to set on that target, right? For now, this will be all on how to last long and actually win on YouTube. See you on the next live section. So before we go, I would just like to take about 3 questions on growth on YouTube. If you want to ask us how we promote channels to get over his, you can actually drop the question here and I'm going to answer it, right? If you also want to ask questions about how we actually promote videos to get to about 50,000 views, there are movies currently we have produced that we're promoting, and currently we're actually working on our other channel that has to do with promoting movies, promoting music, promoting contents on the live section, more like immediately. So you release a movie, we are going live and we're talking about the movie, and a lot of persons are seeing your content. You release a song and we're going live and we're talking about how this content can impact a lot of persons, and people are actually going to your channel almost immediately. So we are working on that. But for now, if you have any question that has to do with that, just drop it on the comment box and we're going to look into it. And I believe you gained a lot of value from today's section. If you have any question on how to win on YouTube, drop it in the comment box and we'll surely answer. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget to join in next time when we are going to be having this live section, probably by next month on the third week. Yeah. And if you want to join our community, our YouTube community, just comment YTC under this video. Somebody will reach out to you. YTC under this video and someone will reach out to you. Thank you so much, guys, and have an amazing day, an amazing time ahead. Love you guys and see you next time. Yeah. Bye bye.